Clutch closers. Your customers think a lot about their trade-ins. I mean a lot about their trade-ins. And when our customers try to determine what they're worth, where do they get their information from? They're getting it from Google, they're getting it from Kelley Blue Book, and one of the top places your customer is getting information from, they're searching Auto Trader. They're seeing what those vehicles are currently selling for now, how much retail is, how much their payoff is, and that's how they're going to determine how much their car's worth. Retail. How much they owe on it, their payoff. And now listen, we all know your payoff has nothing to do with it, and we all know that retail has nothing to do with it. But how do we get our customers to understand that? We're going to go over some closes to overcome that objection to, you're not giving me enough for my trade-in. And I tell you, when we're talking about these types of closes, we've got to think in ink, and I've got to, hold on a second. Oh man, you get, whoop, that's, think in ink, overcome, bam. Now we're going to think in ink. I want to sell my car myself. Yeah, listen, I know you're at $15,000 for my trade. I looked it up online before I came here. I really think I could sell the vehicle for $19,000, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go sell it myself, and I'll be back. Hey, listen, Jim, let me ask you something. Remember, you think in ink. That's clutch closing, right? Think in ink. So I know that you think you could sell it for $19,000, but being the way people negotiate right now, let's just look at that on paper. So let's bump it up to $20,000 so you got a little bit of room to negotiate. At $20,000, we're only giving you $15,000. That's $5,000 in your pocket. I would definitely sell the vehicle myself and put the $5,000 in your pocket. You could use it towards the car deal. You could go use it for a vacation if you wanted to. But the truth is, it takes us on average 90 days to sell a vehicle. And over those 90 days, you're going to still have to make payments on a vehicle that, let's be honest, you really don't even want. You're at $500 a month times 3. That's $1,500 in payments that you're going to have to make. Let's see how we do this. See how we do this, Jim? You got the 4, 3. That's going to come up to $3,500. I'll tell you, even at that, after you've made the payments at $3,500, I would probably still sell that vehicle myself. $3,500 is definitely worth it. You're going to have to advertise that vehicle, right? Advertising is going to cost you somewhere around $50 a week. You're going to have $50 a week to advertise the vehicle. It's going to take you on average of 3 months. That's 12 weeks. Times 12, that's $600 that you're going to spend in advertising on the vehicle. So now you're at $2,900. At $2,900, I'd probably still sell the vehicle myself. That's worth it for me. It's probably worth it for you. We haven't reconditioned the vehicle yet. Remember, you need tires on the vehicle. You're going to have to detail the vehicle and get it ready. Tires are going to cost you somewhere around $900. You're going to have to spend and get you a good detail on that. That's going to cost you about $200. That's $1,100 in recon that you're at. $1,800. I'd probably still sell the vehicle myself. That's worth it to me. But I'll tell you one thing we're leaving out. You lose your tax credit if you do that. So your tax credit is 7%. Let's see, we've got $20,000 times 7% tax rate that you're going to get. That's $1,400 in tax savings that you're going to lose. $1,400 off of your $1,800. We're at $400, and I don't know. That's assuming that your customer pays $20,000 for it, doesn't negotiate with it, and we're only talking about $400. Why don't we do this, Jim? Why don't we go in, instead of giving you $15,000, why don't we get to something that makes a little bit more sense to you? And at $15,500 plus your tax credit that you're still going to get of $1,400 that you get for your vehicle. Now we're looking at $16,900 at $16,900 total trade-in value. You don't have to make any more payments on your vehicle. You don't have to recondition your vehicle because we're going to buy it exactly like it sits. You're not having to worry. You're going to keep your tax savings. that you've got on the vehicle. Everything stays in line. You haven't taken the first phone call. You haven't had to list it on Craigslist. You haven't had to went over and done any demo rides, and we're at $16,000. Surely that's a figure that'll work for you, don't you think? Does that sound fair? Now, incidentally, that makes great, logical, strong, clutch closing sense right there. You didn't just take something and pull it out of the air. We used actual numbers. And remember when I've told over and over again, clutch closers think in ink. Your worksheet should look something like this. It keeps the customer, it keeps them interactive. It shows that you've got a little bit of sense that you're a clutch closer. And obviously, that's what customers want. They want clutch closers. They don't want some amateur. Your worksheet should look something like that. But if you're going to use this close, you've got to be able to remember these steps. And there's an easy way to remember this, because when your customer comes in and they say, I'm going to go sell my trade someplace else, and the first thing you do is go, God, there was all these steps, and there was this math involved. How much did you want for your trade, right? That's where everybody goes. Right away, we've given the football back to the customer. We've started to lose control of the car deal because that's easy. It's what you've done over and over and over again. Well, not you personally. You're a clutch closer, but that's what the guy down the two desk over is doing. That's why they're not making any money. That's why they're struggling in their car business. That's why their CSI is bad, and their customers don't like them, and their managers are mad at them, and they're having to show up early for special meetings to figure out how they can sell cars. You've got something logical, and we're staying clutch in the close. And how do we remember this? It's real easy, right? We're at $20,000. We bumped it up. The first thing that we talked about was payments. Payments. Next thing we talked about was advertising. Next thing we talked about was reconditioning. Next thing we talked about was tax savings. Part. Right? What's a car made out of? A car is made out of parts. And when your customer says, I want to sell the trade myself, you automatically remember cars are made out of parts. Parts are cars, and parts is how I'm fixing to close this car deal. And that's how you stay clutch in this close. And of course, you're always going to have those customers that won't pay off for their close. And you've always got that one solid close you go back to. Sir, the truth is, payoff has nothing to do with what your car is worth. If you owed $1 million on your car, you wouldn't want $1 million for it, would you? No. And if you only owed $100 on your car, you wouldn't expect to only get $100 for it, would you? You would want what the vehicle is actually worth. And that's one way to take on a payoff close. Speaking of payoffs, there's another little stronger close I like to go to where we're taking a payoff and we're closing it to a payment. And we got to think in ink. Hold on. Okay, we can get set up with it. So now, part. Remember that? P-A-R-T. Cars are parts. That's how you're going to close that car deal down right there. Incidentally, by the simple fact that you're watching this video says that you're a clutch closer, and you're probably in the top 1% of the population who wants to better themselves, truly, honestly better themselves, which if you want to help Jimmy over there in the corner, just send him a link to this video. But anyway, so if we're looking at this vehicle, we've got a vehicle that's $10,000 ACV. Their current payment is $500 a month. They're looking at our vehicle, their new vehicle. Their new vehicle is a $40,000 vehicle. And the current payment is $600 a month. It's going up $100 a month. And when they tell you they want their payments to be the same, you say, listen, Jim, if I told you that you could buy a vehicle, a $30,000 vehicle right now, and your payments would only be $100 a month on that $30,000, and you got to keep your car you got now. You buy a $30,000 vehicle, and your payments are only $100 a month. That would be a great deal, wouldn't it? Yeah, and you'd probably say yes to that deal, because that's a lot of car for only $100 a month. And I'm not talking about no tricks, no gimmicks, no balloon payments, no leases. We're just talking about a straight purchase like what you're on right now, and it's only $100 a month. Would you say yes to that? Yeah, I probably would. Let me show you the way these numbers work out. You've got a $500 a month payment right now that you're paying for a $10,000 vehicle. You're looking at a $40,000 vehicle. You're moving up $30,000 in vehicle, and your payment's only going up $100 per month. $100 per month for a $30,000 vehicle, get you a total of $600 a month in payment, and you get to enjoy the vehicle that you want, the vehicle that you told me you liked. It's got leather, it's got moonroof, exactly like what you wanted. Why don't we go ahead and get the car buying experience behind us so you can start enjoying your new vehicle today? Does that make sense to you, Jim? Is that fair enough? Now, I'll tell you, this is clutch in the close. This makes sense. This is very logical. It's using real, accurate numbers that you've got inside the car deal. Remember, if you're going to do this, you've got to commit, you've got to up your attitude, and you've got to practice. Practice is what's going to make perfect. When your customer sits down in front of you and they give you the objection, when they tell you they want to keep their payments the same, that's not the time to practice. Time practice is done. You got to start practicing beforehand, so when you get to this piece right here, you know exactly what to do. Clutch closers, that's how you become a clutch closer and become clutch in the close. And I'm going to tell you, we talked a little bit earlier about Jimmy, that guy struggling down at the bottom of the board. Why don't you give him a helping hand? Share the video, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, give it a thumbs up. One thumbs up, hit the subscribe. You're a clutch closer, man. Clutch close.